Hey everybody, I had a request to do a new vinyasa. So your wish is my command. Here we go. You're not going to need anything for this, just your mat. Don't come at me with yoga has to be barefoot. I'm not barefoot. So if you're here for the feet, you'll have to find someone else. I'm cold. I'm in my studio. I'm going to wear socks. All right. We're actually going to start on all fours. So position yourself so your shoulders are over your wrists, knees are underneath your hips. If this doesn't feel great for your knees, you can take your mat, fold it back, and put your knees on it like this. Go ahead and curl your toes and sit your hips back to your heels. And then as you do that, see if you can push all 5 toes on each foot down into the mat. Then as you breathe in, lift your head and tailbone, but keep your hips back here. Then exhale, push the ground away, tuck your chin towards your chest. Breathe in, lift your head and tailbone. Look up. Breathe out, round your back as you push your palms into the mat. Push into the feet as well. One more time, breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, round your back. On your next breath in, come over so shoulders are over wrists. Then lift the head and tailbone, lower the belly towards the ground, look up. Exhale, push the ground away, round your back, create some space between your shoulder blades. 2 more times, linking your breath with your movement, lift up. Making the letter U with your spine from the side, and then exhale, create the upside down letter U with your spine. One last time, breathe in, lift up. And exhale, round your back. Bring some awareness to your core. Tighten your core so that your low back is protected. And then extend your right leg back behind you, curling your toes and pressing the heel towards the ground. Create some space in between the shoulder blades by pushing the ground away. So it feels like it's rounding through the upper back a little bit. And then come back to center. We'll do the other side. Pushing the left heel towards the ground, making sure you're not sinking into the shoulders. Instead, you're pushing the ground away, creating some space between the shoulder blades. And then come back to center. On your next breath in, you're going to curl your toes, lift your hips up and back, and then bend one knee and then the other. Just pedaling out your legs, seeing what's going on through your hamstrings. Then as you breathe in, we'll sweep the right leg up and back, and then step the right foot towards the front of your mat as you lower your left knee down. Breathe in, sweep the arms up overhead, send the hips forward, take your gaze up, and then bring some awareness to the right heel and the left knee and try to magnetize them. So you're kind of drawing them in towards one another without actually moving them on the mat. Gently release the hands, curl the left toes, lift the left knee, pick the hips up just a little bit by pressing into right heel, and then sweep the right arm up overhead. Find your sense of balance as you press down into the right heel and rise up off the left hand, reaching the right arm back behind you. Big twist here. See if you can lower down into the hips, but press into right heel. And think about tucking your tailbone a little bit so you get a nice sensation through the front of your left leg. Cartwheel your hands down, step back to a plank position. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and then push the ground away 3 times. These are called scapular push-ups. And then come forward on your toes, lower down halfway. Breathe in, lift up, up dog. Cinch the waist, roll over the toes, lift up and back, downward facing. Take 3 deep breaths here. Breathe in and sweep the left leg up and back, spread the toes. Slower than you want to go, step the left foot towards the front of your mat. Lower right knee down. Sweep the arms up overhead, send the hips forward. Melt the shoulder blades towards your back pockets, and then magnetize the left left heel and right knee. So you're not actually moving them on the mat, but you're creating this sense of lift through the pelvic floor. Lower the hands down, curl back toes, lift back knee. Press down through left heel to lift the hips about an inch or two, and then sweep the left arm up towards the ceiling. Press down through left heel to rise up, reaching the left arm back behind you. Think about tucking the tailbone a little bit, so maybe you find something nice through the front of the right hip flexors. And then cartwheel the hands down. Step to a plank position, squeeze the shoulder blades together, keeping the arms straight, then push the ground away around your upper back 3 times. Then coming forward with the toes, lowering down halfway. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing. One more deep breath in and out. Then bend the knees, take the gaze towards the front of the mat, step or jump to the front. Inhale, lengthen up halfway, hands can come to the shins. Exhale, soften the knees as you lower down, letting the head melt over the thighs. And ground down through the feet, rise all the way up, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, arms by your side. Breathe in, sweep the arms up and back, little baby back bend here. Exhale, send the hips back, weight in the heels as you soften the knees, fold forward. Breathe in, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. Step or hop back into a plank position. We're going to do those 3 scapular push-ups again. Chaturanga. Up dog. Cinch the waist to protect the low spine, downward facing. One more breath. Slower than you want to go, sweep the right leg up and back as you spread right toes. Step the right foot towards the front, and then heel toe the right foot out to the right a little bit. Pivot on the back foot so the left toes are pointed to the front left corner of your mat. Ground down into the outer edge of the right foot as you rise up. Make sure your hips are facing totally forward. If they're facing out to the side a little bit, you can just widen your stance. And then let's reach the arms up overhead. Take goddess arms. So you're taking 90 degrees in the elbows. You can lower down through the hips. Just want to be sure that your right knee is directly over your ankle or slightly behind. Press into the outside edge of the left foot and breathe some space into the calf muscle on that left side. As you breathe in, imagine you're being lifted up from the sternum as you lean back just the slightest bit. Take your gaze up, scoop the elbows underneath as well. Then we'll lower just the fingertips to frame the front foot. Rise up off that back foot. You're going to press into the right heel. Come up about halfway with that left foot. Then lower it back down, tap the toes, lift back up again. We'll do that 3 times. Here's 2. Pressing into right heel, feeling right hamstrings and glutes work. And then lower down. Plant the hands down, step back to a plank position. 3 scapular push-ups before moving into chaturanga. Up dog, cinching the waist to protect the spine, down dog. 3 deep breaths here, and we'll do the same thing over on the other side. Slower than you want to go, sweep the left leg up and back as you spread left toes. Step the left foot towards the front, then heel toe the left foot to the left. Pivot on right foot, so right toes are pointed to the front right corner of your mat. Pressing into the outside edge of the left foot and through the left heel. Rise up with the upper body. As you exhale, sink into the hips, finding your positioning here. Make sure your hips are squared forward. If they're turned out, just widen your stance. Open the elbows out to the side, 90 degrees. Press into the outside edge of the right foot, seeing if you can find something nice as you keep that right leg straight. Bringing some awareness to that right calf muscle. And then imagine someone's lifting you up gently from the sternum, creating some space through the low spine as you lean back ever so slightly. Bringing your awareness to your waist, making sure you're cinching in through the waist so that the core is fired on and protecting the low spine. You don't want to dip too far back. Scoop the elbows underneath as well as the gaze goes up. Breathe into maybe the hip flexors. Think about maybe tucking the tailbone a little bit. And then gently release, lower the hands down. Just the fingertips rather. You're going to press into the left heel as you then lift the right leg off the ground. Keep the right toes pointed down to the ground, lower back down, then lift back up. Lower back down, and lift back up, feeling left hamstrings and left glute work. Then lower the hands down, lower right toes down, step back into plank position. 3 scapular push-ups before moving through chaturanga, up dog and down dog. Three deep breaths here. Rise up onto your tiptoes and bend the knees. Step or hop towards the front. As you breathe in, lift up halfway. Hands can come to the shins. As you exhale, soften the knees and let the whole upper body be heavy. Ground down into the footprint of each foot and rise up. Arms come up overhead. Exhale, arms by your side. Bring the arms out in front as you lift the right knee out in front. Flex right foot, spread right toes. Then kick the right foot out away from you. Lift it up an inch higher, hold here. And then bend the knee. Open right knee out to the side. And then come back into warrior 3. So you're making the capital letter T from the side, soften left knee, try not to lock it out. Bring some awareness to your shoulder blades, feeling them fire on as you create a broad sensation through the collarbones. Lower down with the right toes, lift the arms up overhead. Then lean into the right foot, pivot on left foot. Lean into left foot, pivot on right, and open the arms out to the side. Sorry about that. You might want to widen your stance so that your hips can be even here. Take your gaze out over left middle finger. Lower right hand down to right leg and reach the left fingers up and back behind you. Then take left forearm to left thigh, reach right arm next to your ear as you extend and reach out through the right middle finger. We'll flow back and forth like that 2 more times. Staying low through the hips, aiming to keep the hips even. 1 more time, pressing through the footprint of the left foot. As you find your way back into Virabhadrasana 2, you're going to pivot on the right foot and sweep the right arm up overhead. So now right toes are pointed forward, arms up overhead. Fingers are going to come down to frame the front foot. Press into left heel and lift the right leg as high as it'll go before stepping it down next to left foot. Then lower down, rise all the way up. Arms come out in front. Ground down through right footprint and lift the left knee. Fire on the core, spread the toes and flex the left foot. Deep breath in. As you exhale, kick out through left heel, straighten the leg as much as you can. And see if you can lift it up maybe an inch. Keep the hips even. And swing the leg, bend the left knee, Take left knee out to the side and swing it back behind you. A little bit more hip opening that way. Finding your sense of balance here. Spin the inner left thigh up towards the ceiling. Find a broad sensation through the collarbones, core strong. Reach, reach, reach for your left heel with your fingertips. You'll feel your low traps fire on. Then bend your front leg, rise up. Lean into your front foot, open up. Warrior two. Just going to turn so you can see me. And you might want to adjust your stance a little wider so the hips can be even. Take your gaze out over right middle finger. Lower left fingers to left leg, reach right arm back behind you. Find a nice stretch for the right side body, and then take right forearm to right thigh. Sweep left arm up and overhead, arm by your ear, shoulder plugged into the body. Rise back up 2 more times, linking your breath with your movement. So throughout this whole thing, you want to think length. You also want to think lower body fired on. So you're pressing firmly through the footprint of each foot. Rise back up, Virabhadrasana 2. Cartwheel your fingers down to frame the front foot. Lift your back foot as high as you can. And then step left foot down next to right. Rise up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees so much you come to a seated position. Coming into Navasana boat pose. So you're going to find your way onto your sits bones. Lift one foot, maybe both, or maybe you're just going to toe tap and just play with that sense of balance. Lift up through the chest, lean back just a little bit. Keep the arms plugged into the body. Option to extend one leg or both legs. Holding here, breathing. Cinching the core around the low spine. Three more deep breaths. 3, 2, last one. 1. Lower slowly down onto your back and hug the right knee into your chest. Tuck your chin as you do this for some length through the neck. Then press out through left heel so that your left leg is straight. Place the right hand down on the ground and pull the right knee up and over your body to your left as you look out over right shoulder. You can flip the right palm, maybe open up the arm a little bit for a deeper stretch. Slowly come back to center and give yourself a big hug through that right leg. Extend right leg down and hug left knee into your chest. Tuck your chin a little bit so the back of the neck is really long. Flex right foot and press out through the right heel. And bring the left hand down to the ground and press into the left palm to help your body come up and over with that knee to the right side. Take your gaze out over left shoulder, flip left palm so it's facing up, and then an option to open up the arm a little bit for a deeper stretch. And with each exhale, just allow your body to melt into the pose even more. Find your way back to center and hug your left knee in. Lower the left leg down, open up the palms to either side of your body. Let your eyes close, your eyelids be heavy. Allow your mouth to close and your tongue to sink into the mouth. Allow your jaw to soften. We're going to hang out here in Savasana for about 5 minutes, and I'll let you know when the time is up. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then one at a time, we'll hug both knees in and give yourself a gentle rock from one side to the next before making your way over onto your favorite side and sitting yourself up. That felt so good. Bring both hands to your sternum, tuck your chin. Just take a moment to acknowledge how you feel now compared to how you felt at the beginning of your practice. And when you're ready, seal it in. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought, and I'll see you here soon on the Yoga by Candace YouTube channel.